Hi everyone. This is the kind of device you don't really think about until the lights go out, the fridge stops humming, and your phone is sitting at 12%. Today I'm talking about the BLAVOR DS-S1600 portable power station. And I wanted to look at it from a very practical point of view. Not just does it turn on, but would I actually trust it during a power outage, on a camping trip, or in the car during a long day away from normal outlets. The first thing I noticed when getting it set up is that it has a very purposeful design. It doesn't feel like a delicate gadget that needs to be babied. The body feels sturdy, with a heavy-duty plastic housing, a solid handle, and a kind of suitcase-style layout that makes it easier to move around than you might expect. It is still a hefty unit, so this is not something I would casually toss into a backpack. But for a portable power station, with this kind of capacity, it feels manageable and well-balanced. Visually, it also has a pretty cool look. The green color gives it a rugged, almost futuristic outdoor vibe, and the built-in solar panel makes it look different from a lot of plain box-style power stations. Whether it's sitting in a garage, next to camping gear, or in the back of a vehicle, it looks like it belongs there. One of the biggest things that makes this power station stand out is that built-in solar panel. I really like the idea of having solar charging available without needing to immediately carry a separate panel. The hinges on the fold-out panel feel solid, and the whole setup makes sense if you want an emergency backup that can at least collect power when you're away from a wall outlet. That said, I want to be realistic about the solar side. The built-in solar panel is convenient, but it is not the fastest way to recharge the unit. In good sunlight, it can bring in power, but if you're relying only on that built-in panel, you need patience. I would think of it more as a backup or maintenance charging option, rather than the main way to fully charge the station quickly. For faster solar charging, pairing it with a separate larger solar panel makes a lot more sense, especially if you're camping for multiple days or preparing for long outages. For normal day-to-day charging, the flexibility is excellent. I like that it can be charged from a wall outlet, from a car's 12-volt port, or from solar. It also comes with useful cables and adapter tips, so I didn't feel like I needed to immediately go searching for extra accessories just to get started. Having the wall charger, car charger, and multiple DC adapter tips included makes the whole package feel more complete right out of the box. The display is another part I appreciated. The LCD screen shows useful information like battery level, input power, and output power. So you're not just guessing how much energy is coming in or going out. Watt-houring you're powering a fridge, a laptop, lights, or several small devices at once, that kind of information is genuinely helpful. It makes it easier to decide what to keep plugged in and what to unplug if you're trying to stretch the remaining battery. If you're thinking about getting one, I actually found a pretty good price on this. I'll leave the link in the description below so you can check it out for yourself. In actual use, this is where the DS-S1600 starts to feel like a serious backup power option. It has handled smaller electronics easily. Phones, laptops, tablets, speakers, cameras, and lights are exactly the kind of things I would expect it to power without stress. It also has AC outlets, USB-A, USB-C, and DC outputs, so it covers the most common ways people actually plug things in. Where it becomes more useful is with bigger essentials. This is the kind of unit I would feel comfortable using for a fan during a hot outage, a router if I needed internet running, a projector outside, or a small refrigerator. It has also been used with a car cooler during long drives, keeping the cooler powered while still charging phones and laptops, with battery left over by the end of the day. That is the kind of real-world use case that makes a portable power station feel worth having. For emergency backup, I think the most convincing example is how it can keep food storage appliances running. A deep freezer running for roughly 20 hours on one charge is a big deal if you're worried about losing food during a power outage. A full-size home refrigerator can also be powered for several hours, which gives you breathing room during shorter outages or rolling blackouts. Obviously, exact runtime depends on the appliance and conditions, but knowing it can handle those kinds of loads makes it more than just a phone charger with a handle. It also runs quietly and seems to stay cool in normal use, which is important if you're keeping it indoors during an outage or using it near a campsite. I don't want a power station that sounds like a shop vacuum every time I plug something in. With this one, the operation feels calm and controlled. The capacity also feels right for casual glamping, off-road trips, and home backup. It's not tiny, but that's also why it can power meaningful devices for meaningful amounts of time. If you're going away for the day, using a car fridge, charging laptops and phones, or keeping lights on around camp, it gives you a lot of flexibility without needing to constantly watch the battery percentage. There are a few minor things I would improve. The labeling around the input and output ports can be a little hard to read, especially against the orange background or in lower light. It's not a major issue once you learn the layout, but higher contrast labels would make it easier to use quickly, especially during an outage at night. Also, while the built-in solar panel is a great feature, I wouldn't buy this expecting that one panel alone to quickly refill the entire power station. In direct sun, it can still be slow, and after sitting in the sun, the fan may run to cool the unit down. So for serious solar use, I'd plan on using an external panel along with the built-in one as a backup. And one practical tip, with any power station like this, I'd test every output when you first get it. Plug in something to the AC outlets, try the DC output, and test the USB ports. That way you know everything is working before you actually need it in an emergency. Overall, the BLAVOR DS-S1600 feels like a well-built, versatile portable power station for people who want backup power that can do more than charge a phone. The suitcase-style design, built-in solar panel, included cables, multiple charging options, and useful display all make it feel like a complete setup. It's especially appealing for power outages, camping, road trips, car coolers, and keeping essential devices running when regular power is not available. It's not perfect. The built-in solar charging is slow, the port labels could be easier to read, and it's still a fairly hefty unit. But for the amount of functionality it offers, those feel like manageable trade-offs. If you want something rugged, practical, and capable of powering real essentials, this one is definitely worth considering. If you have any questions about this product, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.